Welcome. Welcome to Satsang. Today is going to be different. A few days ago, early in the morning, I received a word. And this word is something that I use every day, and you hear it every day. But all of a sudden there was this realization that this word is everything. This word creates your reality. This word is the sum total of all realization. So this means that the way we apply it will make the complete picture, actually. Okay. It is also dualistic. This means that this word, this power word, is responsible to creating a Hitler or to creating a Bhagavan, because it's dualistic. But at the same time, it has two functions in it, conscious and unconscious. So the unconscious part, but we'll talk about that because there are actually 4 stages. So what I want to say is that this power word is functional. So you cannot say, well, it's awareness or it's love. It enhances love and awareness and makes them more when you know how to use it. And the usage of this is very, very subtle. The reason I want to keep on talking, and you'll say, Burt, come on, tell us what it is. Okay, but if I do, it won't do you justice. Because the moment we hear it, it says, oh, that's it? Just that word? But when you go into it, it's a different story altogether. What has happened also is that I get many emails, people telling me, Burt, you know, you keep saying, and all the Satsang teachers say that when you go into stillness, you begin to feel beautiful, you feel very peaceful, you feel very still, wonderful. And I get so many saying, when I am very still, I feel lonely, I feel as if there's a negative emptiness inside me. What's happening? Okay, and I guess this is why we're coming up with this word, because it makes it all clear why it happens. Okay, so what do you feel this word is? Now, look at it this way, okay? What is happening right now in order to understand this word? What is happening right now?
Nothing. Presence. Being. Comprehension.
Okay, keep on going. Something even simpler than that.
Simply opening our heart to something unlogicalable.
You see, everything you're saying is beautiful, okay? All right, but there's one word that we never expected to be that word.
Moment.
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 Moment is part of it, but it's not it. Okay, the word is attention. Now let's explore and go into it some more. Okay. For example, there are 4 stages to attention. Now the average person, when they use attention, okay, the attention is not on what is going on inside their heads, but they identify with it immediately and becomes a feeling. The only way to know what you're paying attention to is by asking yourself, how do I feel? The way you feel goes back into what you've been thinking and believing. You see? Because that creates the feeling in your body at the moment. So, so the very first stage of attention, which comprises 90% of the population, is unconscious attention. Unconscious attention means that the thoughts are always going back and forth. This is happening all the time, okay? But there is no conscious attention. You see? So it turns into a depression or regret or fear, or the actual 3 qualities of unconscious attention are not feeling good enough, I am missing something, and there is something wrong with me. This is common among all the people who are unconsciously attentive. Now when you say unconsciously attention, means that the attention is always there, because it is the very nature of awareness itself, to pay attention. See, you're always paying attention, even when you're sleeping. You pay attention to your dreams, whatever is happening. It's continuous. But when it's happening unconsciously, in other words, there is no direct awareness of it, we call it unconscious attention. Unconscious attention, listen to this now, and you can debate it, you can not agree with it, but let's go into it. It causes all the emotional pain known to humanity. Unconscious attention. Okay? But you see how it really works that way, doesn't it? Okay. So now, this is the first stage. Now, if a person wants to understand what causes people to suffer emotionally, it's because they're unconsciously not attending consciously. Okay? So therefore, anything that happens to their mind, they don't even know what's happening. They just go into a bad mood without realizing that they've been thinking these thoughts, you see? Oh, I've been tired, or I've been this, or I've been that. But in the meantime, it has affected you because there was some thought and you made it wrong, you see? Okay, so that's unconscious attention. Yeah.
Is it like constantly reacting to what's out there?
Constantly. Unconscious attention is another thing with unconscious attention, is that it makes the world very real. Okay? So real, in fact, that if anything happens to you, you are ready to blame the other, whatever the other is, your neighbor, your friend, your whatever. Okay? And it's always out there, so it becomes a projection. Why? Because it's unconscious. It is not consciously happening, so there is no clarity about what is going on. You see? So keep feeling this word attention, because it is so powerful, because all the time, now, right now you're paying attention. But each one, and those of you on the internet, those that you're listening according to your preconceptions, according to your training, according to your conditioning, according to how advanced you are in the ability to be attentive to what it really is, or what is being talked about. Okay? So unconscious attention is most of the time, but the moment you become aware that you've been consciously attending, or attending consciously, whatever, okay? Because you're a person who's very moody, you're a person who gets angry and upset very easily, get hurt very easily. In other words, you're caught in separation, okay? And this is why when you asked about the word, it's up there, that's beautiful, because that's how we react. It's a separation. Then we go to the second stage. The second stage is conscious attention. So when you hear this, right now you say, oh, I'm going to pay more attention to what I think, to what is going on in my mind, you see, because it affects you moment to moment. For a moment you can have a negative thought, and all of a sudden you find yourself uncomfortable, without knowing why. But the thing is that because it happened so unconsciously. In the second stage, you make it a conscious point to be aware of what is going inside your head. Now, the moment you start becoming aware of what is going on, your ability to pay attention keeps growing. And the more it grows, the more aware you become, naturally, you see? So as you become more and more aware, you become more loving. Because the beautiful thing about conscious attention is that you will find that everything that you're experiencing, if it's, quote, bad, it is you created it. But the moment you become very quiet and still, with no unconscious thinking, okay, you'll find that that very stillness, that very tranquility is you, is who you are. And that is the beauty of you, the glory, the love of you, you see. So, and then there is the third part of attention. And the third part of attention is 100% attention. Okay? And what is beautiful about 100% attention is that you awaken the witness. And the witness happens by itself. You've heard of the witness, right? Now, many people have asked me, and I've got some letters too, who point to that. And they said, well, how do you awaken the witness? Well, it's hard. See, when I read the letter, I know that they're only in the first stage of of what is happening, and so it's very hard to explain it. But see, the witness is you reach a point where you see exactly what is going on. And the moment you see exactly what's going on, that's like the Course in Miracles says, just like all the great teachings say, what's exactly going on is either it's love or it's a need for love. All pain is a need for love. You see? But you see it clearly. And that's called witnessing, you see, the total clarity. Now, at this point, before we start tackling some letters, are there any questions? I'd like you to ask questions even though you're all very aware. It's obvious. But the reason is because even if you ask a question and you know the answer, but it helps the people who are listening.
Can you repeat the first three?
Oh, the first three. Okay, unconscious attention is the culprit of all the known suffering in the world. Okay? So when somebody is in deep depression, when somebody is suffering emotional trauma, all that there is just they are in a dream. Okay? They're believing in what they are perceiving in their mind. Okay? It's all actually imagination gone awry. It's unconscious. Okay? The moment, what is a healer? A healer is to make a person conscious. You see them already as perfect because it's only in their mind anyway. The moment you love them and they see the genuineness of you being there, that very love itself is almost enough to make the person start feeling good. You know, it's a funny thing. Now, you all know about Sylvia and Sylvia's on now. Well, a few days ago, I stubbed my toe, the big toe, in my door, and it bent backward like this, you know, and I couldn't walk, and I had to sit down. The next day it was very bad. And then Sylvia from Portland, she gave me a treatment. Do you know that the next day I was running? It healed. It started to throb. I could feel the heat, and it worked. So in healing there is no distance. Why? Because we're all one. There is no time and space in reality, and that's how we understand healing. So therefore, in unconscious happening, you know, that we're unconscious of, we suffer because we think of separation. You're over there, I'm over here, we are separate, etc., etc. You see? But in reality, there is no separation. And the more you feel the oneness, the more things happen to create that healing. You're all healers here too, aren't you? More or less.
Some level.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's the first. The second one is you begin to become conscious. You become conscious of what's going on. Okay? So, but this comes through intention. Now remember, the power of intention is very, very powerful. The moment you make yourself have an intention to start being aware of what's going on, it's amazing. The moment you make that commitment and really mean it, you start becoming aware. Oh my goodness, I was thinking that thought. No wonder I'm feeling so uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You start becoming aware. That's the second stage of this, okay, of attention. The third stage is when you're able to bring that attention to 100%, okay? Give yourself totally to it, and that's already the beginning of unconditional love, really. Because that is very powerful. You give yourself totally to it, completely to it. In other words, you're not even there. You see? Because remember, what is 100% attention? It means you're not there, right? I mean, you're there, but
You're very there.
but you're very there. You see, the two opposites are one. Then, okay, that's the non-duality. You're so there that you're not even there.
That's right.
Right. Okay, so that's the beauty of that. Okay, that's 100% attention. You've got a child in your arms and you love it so much. It's 100%. All you see is that child. You know. Okay, so then we go into the fourth one, and the fourth one happens by itself. Yes?
Jerry
has a question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm seeing, feeling, is that the first and the second actually take an effort. They're actually a doing.
That they're doing, first and second.
But the third one actually looks like it's moving beyond duality and out of doing, because we may set ourselves in that direction, but the actual awareness arises. It is not us doing it, because that would keep the doer, and you can't have the doer if you're 100%.
Right. You see, and that's the presence too, because on the third, right, it starts to happen by itself automatically.
So, because when you started, you said this is still in duality, so I'm wondering, the crossing of that line, it seems that we do what we do, but that is always there and is not a doing. So there is a time when that carries us rather than we carry it.
And that's the beautiful thing about the stages. You see, the moment you enter the second stage, you already begin to go a little bit beyond duality, because you start taking responsibility. You see, I've been feeling like this, and now I'm aware that when I'm miserable, yeah, I've been thinking miserable thoughts, you know. But the moment you become aware of it, you begin to take responsibility, the ability to respond to the moment, to what is happening. You see? So that's when the duality starts melting and becoming oneness more and more. That's beautiful. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah.
And I like too how you say to always accept where you are, because it brings you right there.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the total acceptance, right? And this is why the third one, when you're 100% attention, then there is total acceptance, total beingness, total seeing, clarity, you see? And the fourth one, according to my guides, is being enlightened, being fully awakened, the fourth one. And that's the witness. See, but you cannot teach the witness, you see, and I hope people who have asked me these emails, it's very hard. You cannot really teach the witness until you're able to begin to feel what's going on inside your head is going on inside your head. You see, it is not real. It is real to you, of course, my goodness. It is real to you, but it's not really real. Okay. So, so where were we? 4. So the witness is when you're able to see, and you see something as it actually is, and then you begin to see God everywhere. Because there's nothing in separation, you see? You know, just like, you know, you look at flowers, my goodness, they're beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just having a closer look now. That's nice, thank you. Yeah, it was Buddha too. One time he was giving a talk to a large group of people, and they were getting restless, and I think I mentioned it last satsang, and he just grabbed the flower, and he showed them the flower, and he says, this is the truth. You see? So, because the third stage, or the witness stage, that's when you see a flower as it actually is. Yeah. Yeah, it was the famous playwright Henry Miller who said that if you can really pay attention to anything, okay, even a blade of grass, then you begin to see the miracle and wonder of life, you see. Okay, yeah.
It's kind of a paradox, because the, you know, it's kind of like the effort to get to effortlessness. It's the doing or the focusing, but really the witness is life itself.
Life itself, because you're not doing anything. The moment the witness is awakened, you're not witnessing anymore. So when a person asks me, how do you witness? I'm dumbfounded to explain it, because it's just, it's clarity itself.
You're still trying to put the witness in some kind of box. You're, how do I witness? You can't. The witness is always witnessing, and you can wake up to that.
Right. Wake up to that. Once you wake up to that, then it's constant. You see? It's there all the time, the witness. And, the delight is... Yeah, maybe if you could move the curtain so soon it will be coming on my face, and then
It's nice.
yeah, I'll say, where did everybody go?
Is that do it? No,
Not yet.
that's coming from.
Just bear with us.
Bear with us. It's coming off the mirror, I think.
Ah, there you got it, got it.
A little bit
Still on that.
further.
Oh, still one shoulder. You're
Yeah.
still radiating light, Burt and Suzy.
I think you're going to have to rub it home.
There we got it.
Okay, so listen, I have a few very simple emails here, and would you mind read one each, read one, and then we go into it? Would you, anywhere you can start.
We may have talked about this one. It is, hi Burt, who is witnessing these thoughts arising now?
That's beautiful, okay. Now, I was talking about looking at the mind, what's going on, right? So when you become the witness, so you know exactly what's going on all the time, who is it that is witnessing?
Awareness. Itself.
Awareness itself. And who is being aware?
No. Awareness.
No one, isn't it?
No one.
No one.
That's why awareness can be fully, that's why it's fully there, because there's
It's
nothing
fully there,
separating
it's
it.
just the presence, right?
Yeah.
That's the witness, you become the presence.
And that's oneness.
And that's the oneness, yeah. So the witness brings the oneness, you see? It becomes the expanded heart. It's become the love that you see everywhere, right? Beautiful, yeah, it's great. Yeah, okay. Mike? Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I often feel empty. I know that one cannot attempt to overcome such feelings. People usually use drugs, sex, drama, and other things to feel alive. But doing that only keeps you from finding a real solution to the problem of feeling lost or empty inside. I feel lost and meaningless, but I don't want to avoid it. I want to move beyond and find a permanent solution. Feeling the emptiness is very undesirable. I often feel like crying. I wonder if it will ever pass. Do you think the perseverance will pay off?
Okay. Feel that out now. Now, you can apply these stages in this one very easily, okay? Isn't there an avoidance there? See, yeah, go on.
Well, if there's a beauty there, and let yourself cry, let yourself go right down there, because it's not as you think it is.
Right.
There is a gift waiting for you in the depth of your fear of feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and that will free you. It is not as you think. It is it's profound, it's beautiful.
Yes.
He or she is headed for beauty if they allow themselves
They allow, right?
to feel all of that.
But they want to get rid of it.
Yes, and that
Yeah.
will keep them forever stuck.
That's right. Beautiful. Beautiful. You
Um,
Yeah, yes?
Hi.
You asked the question?
I just want to say that, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say that I detect a lack of space. You know, there's such a narrowing that, yes, has the potential to be infinite space. But what I see is the narrowing is just a choice of, oh, I'm going to follow that thought that tells me that I'm sad, and that thought that tells me that I'm limited, and I'm just going to believe that thought, whereas I'm not going to believe maybe another thought that says that I'm actually a beautiful, powerful being.
Yes, yes.
And it's just the train, the train of that limited
Right. So this is
set of thoughts.
yeah. Yeah. So this is what I meant by the stages too, you see? Now a person completely on the first stage, they don't have that, because they separate immediately. Yeah.
I was just going to say, there's something that I play with in meditation, which is that person may consider taking the word emptiness and you just flip it around. And you say to yourself, what if emptiness was perfect? What if emptiness was actually space and bliss and connection? And your mind goes, no, emptiness is a bad thing. And then you say to your mind, okay, you believe that. What if emptiness was perfect? What if it was an expanded feeling? So it's a lot of this is just concepts in the mind that you can flip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That is great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is what is to be done, is that we need to meet something instead of avoiding it. You know. But you see, there's another factor here, is that a person on the first levels, first stage, they're so unconscious most of the time that possibility does not even happen to them.
Maybe second stage.
The second stage, yes, second stage. So this is why satsang is so important, because most people are on the first stage and then it takes them automatically, you know. Okay, so.
Just the underline?
Yeah, please.
I get this intrusive thought that I might hurt my baby. Even though I know I would never do it, they cause a lot of discomfort when I tell myself they are just thoughts, memories from the past. I feel better, but it only lasts so long. Is there any advice or something I should practice? Because I live in Puerto Rico and there's no way to get to you.
Okay. This is also very beautiful. She's afraid of hurting her child because it's been her background. Okay, so what is going on here?
She has herself hamstrung between two and she can't move.
Right. She's paying attention to, what if I hurt my child, you see? Yeah.
Completely believing.
Is that?
Completely believing what the mind is saying.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So there is a possibility, if she keeps on telling herself, oh, I might hit my child, if you repeat that, it's going to happen. You see, so that's the power of the mind.
She could do the one of, since there's an emotional charge, she could go down that emotional track. She could feel, what is that like, my hurting the child, and allow herself to actually see that. She's not allowing herself to have that. She's bonded herself. She's halfway between heaven and hell. And even if she were to allow that thought and that feeling, it would be different than it is. So if she were to allow herself to feel that totally,
I love that. Yes,
it would free her out the bottom of the jail.
Yes, to feel that totally. Yes.
I was house sitting a couple of weeks ago, and the two cats I house sat for were very ornery, or the one was suddenly, it wouldn't stop crying at my door day and night, at 6 a.m. and then midnight and so on. And I wanted to kill the cat. And I love animals and I love most things. And there was something deep inside me that wanted to pick it up and throw it against the wall and tell it to shut up. And I watched that and I was like, that's interesting, because I don't feel that way anymore, or, you know, that's not how I live. But it was there. And I didn't push it away, and
you didn't feel guilty for that?
No.
Right,
no.
that's important.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I just kept watching the energy as it arose every time the cat would continue to cry and never tell me why, and not let me sleep. And then a day later it was still crying, and then it ended up hanging out with a friend, and we ended up talking about similar situations, and I said, I feel like I want to kill this cat. And he was like, that's kind of beautiful. Because you're honest about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the honesty, it brought up a lot of awareness as to relationship with my parents and what's that like. And
that's right. That's
you know,
right.
how they felt at times too when the kids are so misbehaving and nothing's working. What, like that tension, and how possibly I carried that on from them to that point too, to let it go in the moment. And this beautiful little kitty was...
Yes. See, when we acknowledge what is happening, a healing takes place. I remember I had a Skype session with a woman, and she was totally, absolutely petrified about death. And she cannot sleep, she cannot think anything else, constantly thinking about death. You know, she was petrified. And she was just a young woman, you know, 30, something like that. But she was totally involved in this. So I said to her, I'm going to ask you to do something that you might not like. I said, but please do it. I said, stand up right now and say, I am afraid to die. And she said, I'm afraid to die. I said, no, mean it. And we kept on going and kept on going. Well, by the time we reached about 15 repetitions, she started to laugh. I said, now you're over it. And she was. She was over the fear. The moment you start to laugh, that's the link with your subconscious mind. That's the link. You're not taking it seriously. You're not caught in that pain, you see? Right? And it was that simple to heal something, to admit it openly.
Doesn't that also involve the witness? Because
Yeah.
it's the witness that you get that separation when
Yes.
you're watching yourself being
That's right.
terrified.
That's right. You never make yourself wrong. That's what I love also about the Course in Miracles too. It says you're a guiltless child of God. Guiltless. You know, you're not brought up in sin like our religions have told us. You know, and when you begin to understand that, then you can say anything and be open about it, and you clear it. You know.
So even this letter is almost a clearing in itself?
Yes.
Just to admit it.
Admitting
Yeah,
that
just
Yeah.
admitting it to yourself and not be afraid or think of yourself, I am less of a person because I was thinking that. No, just be open about it, and this is how I am thinking. And then see it, give it that detached look. Like there's nothing wrong, because the thoughts that you think are not really your thoughts. They come from the past, they come from the environment, they come from your religion, they come from your parents. You see what I mean?
Past lives.
So, was that?
Past lives.
Past lives, yeah. So all that is involved, you see? So you don't take it that personally. You're able to look at it, admit it, be open about it, and the moment you do that, you begin to transcend it.
Often when we want to hurt or destroy, it's actually a hurt inside us. And if we uncover that and see our own hurt and our own, then it doesn't make it, then there can be a breakthrough, because we want to love ourselves. And
Yes.
it's there to be done. But if it's something else, like I'm going to hurt my child, then we restrain ourselves and we
Yes.
don't embrace ourselves and our own hurt and our own
Yeah.
pain, which is being just projected out. So then we can go to step 2 and see what's really going on.
That's right,
And
that's right, yeah. Yes, yeah. See, you know, the most difficult part, believe it or not, and you probably know this because you've been in awareness, that the most difficult thing to love is yourself. And everybody keeps saying it. Because, for example, he says, I wanted to hit my child or something like this, and immediately you made yourself wrong, you're a bad mother and all this, and now you are paying attention to these thoughts. You see, and before you know it, I feel guilty. How could I think like that? You see? And so this is why the release does not happen, because we cannot face what is as it is. Well, the moment we do, we start appreciating who we are. The moment you start loving yourself, you know, it's there, it's complete, you know. Okay, next one.
Hi Bert, I was watching one of your YouTube videos today about experiencing the witness, and I got to this point which I have been to many times before. When you ask, and I try to look to see who is aware, who is witnessing, I cannot find anything, any witness, any clear or stable sense of self. My whole being becomes very agitated and confused. My mind becomes convinced I am doing something wrong, I need to look in a different way, focus my attention in a particular way, or something like that. I feel very much at an impasse, and I don't know how to get beyond it, or even if I need to. Is there something to find, somewhere to rest? Or is there only the seeing that everything is transitory? I can see this, but it is not a freeing experience. It only brings on anxiety. Can you advise me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now this is clear, right? Exactly what we've been saying about what's happening, okay, what is taking place, where the attention is at. You see, the witnessing part, when I had talked about witnessing many times, people try to witness, and they think the average person cannot witness. Okay, it's not possible because it requires total detachment, no judgment, no story, and you see it as it actually is without making yourself wrong in whatever is happening. Okay, there was something there I'm trying to remember about when she does the witnessing. Is it she or he?
She or he?
Yeah. Can you read that part again where it says doing the witnessing and then...
My whole being becomes agitated?
No. She said, or he said, that when they do the witnessing, they don't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
no. When I had my experience with Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, the one thing that stayed with me was his counsel about find out who you are. Ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? And it became a mantra with me. Who am I? Who am I? Mm-hmm. And but I never gave up. And nothing. I don't see anything. I didn't experience anything. Who am I? Who am I? This went on for a long time. It was years later, all of a sudden, one time I got up and I said, that was the answer. There is no answer. That's the answer. And it occurred to me, and it was so relieving. Because who I am, can my eyes see themselves? No. So how can I see myself? So, so when I witness, who am I witnessing? Who is witnessing? You see, there's only one of us. So therefore you begin to understand that you are part of it all. And when I realized there was no one there who was asking the question or who really is, I am. I just am. I'm not something particular or something definite. I just am, and that's the greatest glory of all, because there's nothing more beautiful than being that, you see? So, so this is exactly what she's doing. She's trying to witness, and then she gets anxiety. I feel that's what I heard, that she's not seeing anything. Well, of course you don't see anything. If you see anything, now that's a problem. Because in witnessing you don't see anything.
Because there's nothing.
Because there's really nothing to see. You see? Like if we talk about witnessing, it can shock many people. You see somebody being murdered, and you feel great compassion, and you break down in tears, and you think, how can people be like this? Oh my God. But then you begin to understand when you start witnessing that for one thing, nothing happens by chance. There are no accidents. And it happened because the victim had something to learn. Did you know that there are pre-existing accidents and things that are karmic, that we need to learn? And the Course says that the moment we forgive ourselves, we don't need to go through that. You see, because we collapse time in our favor when we forgive. See, so that's the beautiful thing. So therefore, through witnessing, you begin to see something so clearly that it does not take away your composure, but that does not mean that you're not compassionate. Of course you feel compassion for the underdog, for the victim, but you don't get attached to it. You're not involved. You see, you can see it as it actually is. You understand that they are feeling like victims and they are hurting, but at the same time, that does not become your hurt, and that's the way that you can heal them. So I hope that what I just said has helped this person with that question. Okay.
The next one is, hey Burt, I've been studying ACIM,
That's A Course in Miracles.
A Course in Miracles, but I was wondering, how do we know when we forgive something or someone, how do we know that we aren't just developing a thicker skin?
Could somebody else answer this one?
No, because there's nothing left to think about.
There's only love left.
There's only love,
when
right?
when you bring that person or event
Yeah,
to mind.
when you forgive, it softens the heart. It's on the contrary. There is no thick skin. On the contrary, there is the more compassion, more understanding, more softness. You see, we live at a time when people love action movies, the macho guy, you know, and all this, but there's nothing more courageous and beautiful than a soft heart. You see, Jesus had a soft heart, Buddha had a soft heart, but that soft heart had courage, no fear of death, no fear of anything, you see. So that's the real energy, the real person. And that comes through, the more you forgive, the softer the heart. The softer the heart, the clearer you become.
Well, we really don't forgive. Forgiveness happens.
Forgiveness happens through,
It's the result of seeing that
from seeing.
that person or that situation was whatever it was, because that's what it was.
Yes.
Them doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't at you or about you.
That's right. That's right. That's
Yes.
beautiful. And this is what happens with witnessing. It's an automatic forgiveness the moment you look. You see? But that witness is a gradual process of paying attention deeper and deeper and deeper until you come to the point where he says, there's only one of us. There's only love happening. And what else is happening is all part of the changes that are meant to happen.
And I guess that's what compassion is.
That's what compassion is. It is that understanding, that clarity. Yeah. 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 Is there one more for Jan?
This one?
You want the piece?
Dear
you see?
Burt, yes I can.
Okay.
Dear Burt, I thank you as I doubt is even necessary. You nailed it with the negative thoughts. I'm full of anger, fear, jealousy, you name it. And yet I know that it is not true of the entity that occasionally comes out to dance when she's confident no one is watching. Now and then I say out loud, I love. It isn't intended. The sentence simply completes itself in the awareness that this is all I am or need to be. I will try to hold on to that or let go. Oi, I think the answer lies in my hat.
Yeah, and I remember who it is now. And she sent me a picture with a hat on her head. Right. Yeah. And this is beautiful. I like that. I like that sentence. Either letting go, or what is? Oh, read it again, please.
The part where she says, I can try harder or something? Or
Yeah, I can try harder or let go or oi,
Hold on.
no, something like that.
I think the answer lies in my hat.
Yeah.
And what
Just before that.
the letting
just-
go, holding on thing.
I will try to hold on to that or let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Which one is best?
Yeah.
Did you know that they're both redundant?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, when you
We don't really let go. We see that there's nothing to let go. That's letting go.
And
Just
that's-
like forgiveness, you
yeah,
see.
yeah.
You don't forgive. You just see there's nothing to forgive. You know, people do what they do because that's where they're at. Okay, so are there any more?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Okay, so is there anything that you'd like to add or say anything?
I don't know if this is an appropriate time, but the one you said about seeing someone being murdered, in that experience that I had in the last 2 weeks of life
Oh, yeah.
trying to murder me.
Oh, yes. Oh, Jerry came in today and he told me that he had a stroke. Okay, but at the same time, it taught him something beautiful. Could you talk about it, please?
Sure.
Jerry? Yeah.
I was out walking the dog, and I was, instead of taking in nature, I had come back from being gone, so I was trying to catch up, so I was looking at my iPhone. And as I was looking at my iPhone, I recognized, I knew that I knew these words, but they would not make any sense to me. So I went to a different and looked, and it was the same. No matter, I would recognize the word Vancouver, and I know that word. But it would make, there was nothing that it would hang to. But after attempting that, I closed my phone and put it in my pocket, and the sense was, and the words do not describe it, but it was like, okay, this is how I will read for the rest of my life. And there was no charge on it whatsoever. It was just, that's it. Those words are like that. And never read that much anyway. And then I looked across the street because my sight started to go, and I saw a woman who was looking at her iPad or something, and I couldn't make it out. So I took my glasses off, and I looked, and it didn't help, obviously. I turned my glasses upside down for some reason, and looked, and it still, of course, didn't help. And then the same sense. Oh, it was like, it wasn't even, oh well, but it was just like, this is how it is. And for me it was, this is how it will be. And there was no charge on it at all. And then I start getting wobbly, of having trouble walking. And I looked down and saw my legs and the white pants and my feet on the sidewalk. And the thought was, I should direct this towards home. But just right behind that was, and if I fall on the pavement, then that's where I'll be. And there was no good, bad, or other in it. It was just so ordinarily being there without any effort. It was just, this is what is. And then when I got home, my wife, of course, freaked out a little. And so that was a whole other story of taking me to the hospital. But all through that, there was no, it was just what it was. It
And that's why you healed so fast.
It's nothing,
Yeah.
there was no effort to make it other than it was, and what it was just what it was.
What it was.
It wasn't, oh, this is a terrific state, or, you know, oh my God, I'm going to die. It just was so beautifully ordinary. I don't know how else to say it.
What a beautiful experience you've had, and your acceptance of it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Jerry. You're a beautiful man. Yeah. And with that, namaste.